Right on. Here we are again.
Better late than never.
Yeah. Well, how is Revelstoke opening?
Revu has been snowy. It's been a little bit wet lower down, but I think the delaying of the ski season turned out to be 100% the right call, and we had a blower opening weekend in the end. I mean, it was pretty much two days of non-stop storming. I forget how much we had in the way of accumulations, but I know on the Friday before they opened, they actually had 30 centimeters that night. So the opening day itself had some amazing fresh snow. There was pretty marginal coverage down to the Stoke Chair, which I think everyone was kind of expecting anyway. So really, people were just happy to get out there, and especially on the top sections, the Alpine was great. And it's really not stopped snowing since. We had a little bit of a warm period this past weekend, which kind of just sort of set a reset. But even again today, there's been 35 centimeters on the mountain, so there's a lot of snow here. But as I'm sure we'll probably get on, like there's lots of weather events going around where it's kind of, there's not snow in places, there's loads of snow in other places, and it's actually really hard to get to.
All right. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing pretty well up there in Canada. I was just checking Panorama because I like that place a lot. Looks like they're getting a little snow. Pretty much everything's been shut down around here. We've had floods and everything else and high winds. Even Lookout that gets a ton of snow was closed last weekend. Schweitzer can make snow, so they have what they call the ribbon of death. It's just this tiny little ribbon that's kind of embarrassing. People were posting about that. It's pretty bad all the way down to even Utah, right? Alta and Snowbird that usually dump. It's pretty sparse. Like the ones that are open are barely open. But
No, good. No, I mean, it's quite a shocking how widespread the lack of snow is. I mean, normally it's kind of like confined to a few areas, but I mean, yes, Revelstoke has got good snow. I mean, Banff and Lake Louise are great by all reports. But beyond that, in BC, I think Whistler's starting to catch up now, but there's still a lot of places in this interior that are also struggling, especially a little bit east of us. I think places like Red, that they're still waiting to open up. I know just south in the valley that Silver Star and others are finally starting to get some snow from these systems that are coming in. But yeah, what a strange start to the season.
Yeah, I hope it's been a lot of precipitation. I hope it didn't get all used up in the form of rain and we get some snow. It all usually works out in the end. And down here, it looks like it's going to start kicking in pretty heavily. We'll see.
At this time of the season, is it mostly just locals at the resort, or because of your multi-resort passes, are people normally already on the move trying to visit other places?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, and normally by Christmas people are doing their vacations, right? And I use the Icon Pass and I get around as soon as I can. I mean, I usually don't kick into gear till January before I hit the road to travel to see things, because why do you want to drive 8 hours to go ski in a poor place? But I did go up to Sunshine. I've been going out to Lookout. I mean, Lake Louise early in the season. I think just because where you are, it's usually okay in late November, early December. And it's hit or miss around here where I'm from, the inland Northwest, which is like Schweitzer's the biggest resort here. And even on over to, say, Crystal or Stevens.
Yeah.
Up till Christmas. But when Christmas is here, you're usually getting some okay skiing.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas is a big it's a big holiday period, and especially people are wanting to get away, and I think Revelstoke and the Sunshine areas are probably in quite high demand. But the problem we've got, I'm not sure sort of how much you're aware of it, is that all the weather that is going on is just causing havoc with all the highways. So, in the lower mainlands around Vancouver, there's one route that's, I think it was washed out. I'm not sure if the road was completely washed away, but I know like around the Abbotsford area that's preventing a lot of people from, say, like the Vancouver area trying to move inland for maybe their holidays. Um, Obviously, the snow that's starting to fall on the Coquihalla. Then there's our side. You've got Rogers Pass through to from Calgary, and there's all kinds of accidents with all the snow events that have happened on the altitude. So I don't know how many people are actually moving. So right now, like Revy, from our side, it's mostly locals that are enjoying the snow. But yeah, hopefully in the next week, as we move into that Christmas period, things start to pick up.
Well, I'll tell you, I can tell from my channel alone, because most of the reviews I've done are, Lake Louise in Canada is one of my first reviews, and my newer reviews are Snowbird and Utah. Yeah, I'm not like normally this time of year getting a lot of action on people looking at the videos, and I think there's less of that even because people aren't even planning to go because of the lack of snow. I would say that's another indicator people aren't getting out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The where like the viewership starts to build up, especially on certain videos as you get into the season, and if people know that the snow is good and they're looking at booking, then it kind of attracts them to those videos. So I know James from the Rise in Alpine channel. I mean, his Whistler videos are starting to kick off now because I think they've got both of their hills open. But until there is snow on those other ones, I think the marketing teams are desperately trying to be creative. I'm seeing all kinds of things now on Instagram and you got to admire them for sort of obviously keeping people engaged, but you're just at the mercy of Mother Nature, aren't you?
Yeah. Have you talked much to the Rise in Alpine guy? He does pretty good videos. He's kind of he does a good job.
Yeah, James, I actually bumped into him. We went for a ride at Revelstoke last year. He actually made it out to the opening weekend here. He kind of got all involved in the overnight camping and was pretty big. We was with a van last year. But no, not really talked to him recently. I'm sure he'll make it over this way at some point during the season. For me, I'm trying to this year. I'm sort of managing the amount of I can take on when it comes to my content making, just because of sort of things going on with trying to get residency and trying to stay in Canada. So trying to balance things a little bit more this year than I would have done previous years.
I noticed you're growing your beard out a little bit. That says something. You must be getting busy.
Well, there is, and that's only because there's been no sunlight as well, and I've got to find something to stay warm. So the beard is the first place to start.
Well, I'm curious, and I don't know if you want to share about it. What's the latest on your residency battles of becoming Canadian or staying there longer?
Yeah, I mean, so my situation is like a lot of other people's right now, which is that they are closing the doors. Well, I say closing, that they are sort of making the door narrower for a lot of people. They've massively sort of reduced the number of people they're letting in terms of temporary foreign workers, and then those as permanent residencies. So and student visas. Which, I mean, for people who might be watching, I don't think that would apply to them as much, but definitely, if you were thinking of working a ski season from out, say, like your UK, your Australias, it's definitely becoming harder. From my situation, I'm trying to maximize my points, and there's very limited options I can do in Canada right now. My best bet is the only thing I can do is try and improve my French score, my French language, which I did a test a little while back in the fall. It didn't quite go so well, so I got another test booked in March. See how that goes. But you're essentially, depending on how you apply, you're in these waiting lists, like these pools. And then, providing you have a certain number of points, if you meet that, it's then up to them every month. They do a certain amount of draws where you get invited to apply for residency. So, yeah, it's a lottery. and my current permit expires in July, so I'm kind of working off an ever fast approaching time frame, and there's not really many extension options or anything at this point. So yeah, I'm kind of there's a pretty high chance that at the moment this could be my last winter in Canada. I hope not. Yeah, we had a bit of good news on the sort of the draw front the last couple of weeks. They went from like barely inviting anyone at a really high level, and then they sent out a couple of rounds which were better than we'd expected. So gave a little bit of hope, but not enough to sort of feel confident.
Yeah, I saw in the news that they had first population shrinkage, and it's, I guess, because they're cracking down on visas. I don't know for sure, but it makes me think I don't know. Does that keep you up at nights worrying about that, or you just kind of roll with it and do the best you can?
Dude, do you not see all the bottles of gin on the back of my thing there?
Nothing keeps you up at night. You got a bottle of gin. You got your built-in sleeping pills back there. All right, yeah, I should have known.
No,
I guess
it does, and this has been 4.5 years here in Canada as a temporary worker trying to build that life in the mountains, and it's always been in Revelstoke. And I've got a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues in the ski industry, the tourism sector, that are going through very similar situations, and it's tough because as an entry point, Canada actually provides this amazing entry level visa, this work holiday visa for your the people within the Commonwealth, because it gives you, depending on which one you get, it can give you anywhere between 2 to 3 years. And as a young adult in today's world, that is a massive how do I say it? That's a massive platform for you to go and actually start finding somewhere to kind of build a career and lay down roots, try and make a go of it. Not to say that it's going to be easy and straightforward. I mean, part of why they're rolling back on all of this is things like cost of living, and especially in ski towns, like the price of housing, of food, of fuel, all of that like factors into this. But instead of building more houses, the solution seems to have been to roll back on these, the immigration system, which they relied so heavily on coming out of COVID. So it's a huge U-turn in a short space of time, and it's catching people like myself out. Because coming out of COVID, you saw this and you thought, hey, Canada's the great place. It's English speaking. There's mountains, big ski resorts. The general population for such a big country is quite small. So sense of opportunity. I don't know what it's going to mean for people in the next couple of years who are just wanting to come out here. I have a lot of friends right now who are very concerned.
Yeah, I know you play cricket too, and it seems like there's a lot of guys from India that you play that with, right? And I don't mean, it's probably affecting everybody the same. They're not choosing one country over the other, right? It's just they're just looking at it. We can probably change the subject. I don't know that much about it, but I've seen a little bit of news about it, and I can only imagine that's too bad. I mean, you've been in Canada quite a while.
It's a tricky one, because I know it does kind of, the more you talk about it, the more it kind of leans into politics. But it affects a lot of people who are working in small community towns as well as the cities. But I kind of feel like for a lot of people like myself, in the context of building a life in the mountains, in ski towns, that the opportunities have been there. And Revelstoke is such an amazing place because of its community spirit. It is a town where full of residents, and families and people who live and work there all year round. So it doesn't necessarily feel like a sort of a tourist hub where you are temporary. It does actually feel like you're part of something. So the chance to, the fact that you could quite probably not be there in several months' time is quite daunting. And it does does keep you overnight. But luckily, we've got almost 2 meters of snow on the ground, so that's keeping me distracted.
And you probably got a beef eater back there, right? Like, I don't know. What does a guy from England drink for gin?
No. So what have I gone through? I've gone through, well, there's a bottle there that I actually made myself in Toronto. There's the Tanqueray.
Classic.
I picked up a Swiss gin actually on my way back through Zurich Airport. That went down very quick.
All right.
And now I'm on a French one called Citadel. So, yeah.
Well, I did something. We're gonna try to get back to skiing here, but I made
that après ski drinks. Does that count?
Yeah, I made my first beef Wellington yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know if that reminds me of home. So I felt pretty impressed by that, man. I don't know if you guys really eat that stuff, but I heard it's kind of an English Christmas.
Is that like that's like a stew, right?
A beef Wellington? No, it's got puff pastry and ham and filet mignon. It's all wrapped. It's a whole thing. It was a lot of work, but I've heard it is from your homeland. I don't know. Everybody's lying to me on the internet.
No, it definitely is. I mean, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a wintry food. I mean, honestly, like anything with meat and carbs in the UK is considered a winter meal.
Okay, fair enough. So let's try to look at one of your videos. Maybe I know we weren't able to upload one because you got busy today, but I'm going to see if we can't pull up one of your videos again.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
This could be quite a good one to spit by you because, like, I was. Do you use GoPro or do you have like a 360 camera as well?
I have both. So I got tired of going back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So I've got the 360, and I'll put that up when I'm on the chair to get some 360 views, and then I have my 12 that I leave on my helmet. So I just kind of have both. It's your 360 is great, but that's kind of what's worked for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, so I use the 360 for like the action stuff. So for the skiing, just because I think, it gives a really cool angle of view. And then with GoPro for a long time, I kind of got frustrated about the battery life, even though now the Enduros is far more reliable. So I kind of just use that for like speaking to the camera. But the reason why I bring it up is because I wanted to see what you knew of it. But like for me, like as much as I love the angles from the Insta360s, I find that the quality, like a lot of the footage can come out quite grainy, even when you've exported it.
It's tricky, honestly. I had to learn a lot about it. And if you have to put it at its highest setting, then you have to export it in the MOV format for it to work the best. And then if you're using Premiere Pro, it glitches all the time. So that's one of the reasons too. It just looks so much better on my GoPro 12. It's a lot easier. Like pulling the footage off the 360 is hard. I mean, I respect you for doing it, and you can get some really cool shots, but it's kind of funny. The more I'm doing it, and I made a different kind of video the other day instead of a review of Melissa and I going up to Sunshine. Kind of funny, but I used my actual like Sony camera for that. But yeah, I'm trying all kinds of stuff. But generally GoPro 12 on my helmet and the Max 360 on a little 3-foot extension. Yeah, I like what you do with your 360. It's pretty cool. And as this is a picture, I'm starting to get. I bought a telephoto lens. So this is a picture I took of a bald eagle here in Coeur d'Alene on here. I got a great picture of ravens at Sunshine too. But we'll look at that another time. Let's see if we can't pull up your video here. There's the Schweitzer report. That's sad. That is 1 inch or centimeter.
Oh boy.
That is not killing it for Schweitzer people that are stoked. Since I mentioned that, there's not much to say about the skiing except it's not very good. I mean, it's just bad. Closed scheduled. It's a mess. Let's see if we can't get your video working again.
Yeah, now if we can watch a bit of this, but then I definitely don't think we watched your one from Sunshine last week, did we?
Well, we can look at it, but it's different. I tried to do a story. I did like 3 acts, the beginning, middle, of end, and Melissa and I even did some acting in it. So I'm kind of impressed with what I did as far as making it a story instead of a review. What is this, Bramsky?
I don't think that's where my channel is.
What came up with Bramsky Vlogs here? There it is. I think we're in the wrong thing.
Is that N or M?
Let's see. There we go. There we are. Let's go in here. We don't need to watch the video we are in, but.
Oh yeah, I got rid of the vlogs off the.
It's just Bramsky.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. This is the latest one.
That's the one. Yeah.
Let's see what we can do. I know last time we didn't have any luck with the audio. Oh. Can you hear that?
No, I can't, but maybe the viewers can. I don't know if they can comment and let us know if they can hear it.
Well, let's do. You kind of give us a play-by-play on this one, if you want, or have me go to any certain spots. Let's just see what happens.
We can do a bit of a play-by-play and for a few minutes or two.
No, I can definitely hear it. I hope everybody else can. Oh, no sound. All right, so. Oh, look at this. We got some questions here. Let's hit some questions while we got it really quick. Let's play this.
Yeah, I can answer. While we play it, I can answer, yeah.
Okay, we got no sound listed, and then we've got, we never got a full introduction about Matt. I know you can introduce yourself again. He's the man. He's from England. He's in Revelstoke. He's making awesome videos. There you go. But yeah,
that's about it, really. This is our little sort of, I don't know, ski cast. We hooked up, didn't we, in Revelstoke last year for a little bit of a video, and I've been making these for several years now, pretty much since I started my first winter in Europe. So several years later, Revelstoke is the home, and yeah, this video was the opening weekend, which was not this past weekend. It was the previous one. And it was blower. It was like, so we had 30 centimeters the night before opening. I think they opened up with about, I want to say 140 base at the top, but it wasn't straightforward. It was just basically skiing down. Everything above the Gondi was open, so you couldn't actually ride anywhere down. But as you can see, I mean, the Alpines and Glades had a lot of snow. It was once you started to get to the lower part of these glade runs was when a few of these obstacles started making an appearance. But oh boy, there were a few of those. When you get those turns and the snow just kind of like rears up at you, and sometimes you get the sort of the face shot. I made a conscious effort to kind of not play music in these moments, which is something I've done a lot in previous years, but yeah, just get the kind of the sound of the snow underneath the skis.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've been trying to put more of the in my reviews, the background noise versus just putting music. The other thing I like here is your setup, right? I saw those poles in Chamonix for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Those are awesome, and I like the way you have your 12 mounted on the top of them. Can you talk about those poles a little bit? I think they're coming on strong, but I don't think everybody knows about them just yet.
Yeah, well, it's a Canadian brand. It's they're called Diorum. I found out about them actually by riding with James from Rise and Alpine, because we went into the slack country, which is a little to the left of this ski area here. And I ended up snapping one of my poles in the slack, and he had a set of these. I think, I can't remember off the top of my head. They're either based out of Whistler area or they're based out of Fernie somewhere. But they made these really like these well-made poles, and they do have this contraption, well, an adapter, shall we say, which you can screw on the top of one of the poles, and that then allows you to insert your GoPro as if you were attaching it on any sort of mound, really. I won't lie, the poles are, at a premium, but the quality and what they've they've done for me in terms of like backcountry, and then the ability to film with them is I've definitely enjoyed them, and I felt they've been worth the investment.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. I may get some. I have just the kind of poles that extend in the backcountry. I have some attachments I can put on my pole from GoPro, but I've never actually done it. But yeah, I know you've been sponsored, or you've worked with Montec quite a bit, which is actually another Chamonix kind of area brand. Have you had any other offers to sponsor things or work with companies?
No, so Montec and Dope, they're two clothing companies, sister companies. They are actually Swedish. I think it's Swedish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I did a little bit of collaborative work with them a few years back now, but I've not done that for a while. I mean, to tell you the truth, I've kind of been conflicted about doing, because of my personal situation and not really knowing where I am or what direction I might be heading in the future. Like, I'm kind of pretty selective over like any sort of brands that reach out now, and a lot of them are your typical, like, you know, a starter goggle company. And I've done some work in the past few years with Outdoor Master, who have grown a lot, and they provide some really good quality goggles, especially at the entry level. But they do have some good high quality options as well at affordable prices. And they now, I think they have their first storefront up somewhere in Whistler now. I do actually have some discounts on those goggles. Like, if you go to one of my videos, any of my videos in the bio, you'll see some links which will get you discounts on those. I don't know. I think if you ask me like what brands I'd maybe like to work with in the future, maybe on the clothing front, something more backcountry focused. Yeah, something a little bit more on that side. Maybe also something experience focused. Maybe not necessarily kind of like product focused, but whether it's something that's involved in the broader kind of travel industry, the ski industry in that way. I don't know. We'll see where things are next year.
Yeah, I've had some of those companies reach out to me, and they had like I've kind of been learning a little bit about tuning my own skis, and they had a set that they could do that. I just kind of, I don't know if it's worth it, right? The amount of effort that goes into doing these videos and putting this all together. I don't know. Someday I would love to work with a brand that I really liked, but all the brands I kind of researched and I go, nah, I mean, if it was the right thing, I'd love to do it. It'd be a lot of fun, but I mean, those poles would be a great example. You actually love them. They got a hold of you, and you could sell them. That'd be cool.
I mean, they definitely do well. And the thing is, Revelstoke's such a funny place for brands, because you've kind of got you've got a few competing market trends, shall we say. I mean, with where Revelstoke is, the quality of snow, the activities on offer, and the people that attracts, there's a lot of expensive activities, and you therefore have a lot of expensive brands. That's not to say these are glam and glitz shops, but I mean, you can go into the locally run outdoor shop, and it's all Autovox, it's all Mammoth, so not cheap stuff, good quality naturally, but also very, very expensive. And then on the flip side, you've got a local guy who's making backcountry ski poles out of bamboo,
Yeah.
And there's a market for that. There's a market for that in town, and that's another thing that makes the town so great. So, But back to what you were just saying about, you have those sort of brands reach out. I mean, one thing you could look at, which I know, I know someone from Austria who makes content, and he did this. He with his sort of instructing school and a little bit of like hosting, and they actually ended up finding a manufacturer from sort of Asia, I think it was, and doing their own branded versions and then selling them to their followers and to their audience. Yeah,
I mean, that's the way to go. It's I could go into depth on this. I don't want to bore people to death, but I mean, my thing is I've got some brands I really do like, and they're probably fancier than want to work with a little YouTuber. But then there's other ones you can do it. But I've seen you've gone down that road. I was trying to find, while you were talking there, I was looking for one of my videos. I was going to try to play it with some audio. I think we've got to upload in those in advance. As everybody knows, Bramski and I are still learning here. So we have day jobs, but we're going to get more videos going on this. But did you see that somebody said hello to you?
Yeah. Chozan 20. Yeah, he's a follower on our channel. Hopefully you give Cody a bit of a subscribe here as well. There's Brady is going to Vail Resort from Jan 4th to 10. Is he going to get some POW? Or are they going to get some POW?
I think you are, from what I see. The next 2 weeks, at least next week, it's coming. I'm paying attention to southern Montana.
Yeah.
And that's about to dump. I'm going to go to Lost Trail in a week or two on New Year's. So I think there's a snow front coming in. I don't think you're going to have a legendary January 4th, but they're going to make it work over there from you. I've never skied at Vail. People love that place, though, and it's got some awesome skiing. I'm sure they have some of the best grooming and snowmaking in the world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, even if they can just get the temperatures right, then you know they can start making some snow if they've got the machinery, and that's better than nothing. But you know, I mean, you know, America's had some pretty cool years, so I mean, it's probably just going to flick a switch and just start coming.
Let's see. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, see if we can't put on your vid. Brady says should definitely check out the back bowls at Vail.
This is a different kind of video I did of a little story. I tried something different. It's not getting a lot of a response, but this is Melissa and I skiing at Sunshine when it was freezing.
I feel your pain though, because when you put a lot of effort into a video and it doesn't do well, it is the biggest gut punch ever. Like I can't see the audio, but I can already see like the effort in the first few seconds with the cinematography, and like, yeah, you guys are obviously speaking to the camera, and
it was something different. You know, it was kind of having a beginning, middle, and end. It's kind of fun if you watch it, but yeah, people like the reviews. Yeah. I don't think they want to watch Melissa and I go on a little journey and deal with -5 Fahrenheit, -25 Celsius.
So were you guys staying at the actual lodge?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
What was?
I'd recommend it to anybody.
Well, yeah, I was going to say because that like obviously it's in a national park, so there's not much in the way of like actual accommodation. But from what I've heard, apparently it's quite a. Oh, we're going to actually see inside though. Nice.
Yeah, there's Trapper's Bar that we went to. There's 2 nice restaurants that I didn't bother to get any video. There's a hot tub that's great. It's cool to get first tracks. I'd recommend it to anybody. I mean, there's enough to do. Granted, it's not staying in Banff, but yeah, it's a first class experience. Let's see as we go through. We got some more. Hey, okay. Oh, thanks for responding, Brady. Check out Vail's back bowls. I've heard nothing but good things about the back bowls. I'd love to go someday. I'll go. I'll say I am hesitant to ski at Vail. I don't know. They've been kind of pretty rough to the ski industry. I mean, do you have any thoughts on the what's known as the Evil Empire? I've thrown them under the bus on my review in Red Mountain, which is one of my newer reviews. You have thoughts on Vail?
It's hard for me because I've never experienced a Vail resort. But yeah, I mean so I'm going to reserve my judgment fully until I've kind of actually checked that out. But with everything that I hear, at least I'll say for like the cost of things versus the experience, yeah, it sort of is. I think there's a people would like more for less, but then don't we all these days? So yeah, I don't know. I've followed a lot of the news over the last few years with like what's gone on with Ski Patrol and staff, certainly, because that I can relate to an extent. But it is interesting because I think the business model has taken over such a huge part of the ski industry on this side of the Atlantic, right?
I agree, and I mean, I've mostly been at the Icon Pass resorts, which is Alterra, and I've been a ski instructor, and it shocks me how they pay people at ski mountains, and they got sued for that, and no other companies are getting sued for that, and they lost in California, where they put you on standby and then they don't pay you for the whole day.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Vail's kind of catching some of that.
Can I just say that is a great time lapse?
Well, thank you very much, because it was my first one, and I'm glad you appreciate it. The other thing is I'm using my lav mics in this with Melissa, and this is Melissa and I's acting debut right now, because the second act of any 3-act structure needs to have a conflict. So this is our conflict moment. So I loved doing the time lapse. It just takes time. You got to set up, and I would like to do more of it. But yeah, this is Melissa and I acting right here. But it's true, because it's colder than crap and we couldn't get first tracks. But yeah, I think Melissa's a great sport for this. And but man, it's so cool to look out there, man, and just be right next to the lifts.
Yeah, I mean, that is the definition of ski in, ski out.
And nobody wants to see me in a robe, but at least I was wearing a robe. I could have gone full boxers there.
I don't think we have a choice, dude. We have to see you. You've made us watch you in a robe regardless.
Yeah, I mean, one day I'll go full nude or something, and then I'll get like negative views on here. But yeah, it was fun to do with her, and I'd like to do another one. We'll see. But I think the reviews are where my wheelhouse is, and you know, I'm working on my next review now. But this was fun to do something different.
Well, you mentioned that you had a camera. I mean, one of the things that I'm sort of, this has been the hardest thing for me with the YouTube in the last 2 years is kind of crafting good thumbnails and titles that actually make people want to click on your video and watch. So like, you can make a fantastic video, but you know, if the thumbnail is not is not really standing out, and then the title doesn't make them want to click on it, then it can be a little disheartening. But there's no one set formula. It's a constant thing you got to work on.
I agree. It was fun to do this and put a score together, but this is something I got when I was there that's actually I'm kind of proud of. Speaking of having a camera and a telephoto, Liz.
Yeah.
These are 2 ravens, and they're actually warming right there. If you look, I don't know if you can tell, but they're puffing and to stay warm. And yeah, it's a family of ravens that was up there at Sunshine when it was about -5 in the morning when we couldn't ski.
Well, I mean, that's a good quality camera though, so that would be good for like taking like stills. That's the one thing you kind of got to remember when you're not zooming around, is you try and find some time to do that. Hey, so you like watching this bit of the video here. This is bringing back memories. So, what is the name of that chairlift on the right hand side there?
Oh, I think it's the Angel chair. I can't remember. Yeah, I did a review like 3 years ago. My first reviews were in Canada. But Great Divide Express. There you go.
Okay, so I visited there with my dad and my brother when we were very, very young. And it was a day quite like that here today, like what you were showing there, like sunny blue skies, but like -25 degrees Celsius, high winds. The chairlift stops with us on it and tons of people more. And they obviously were having mechanical issues because of the high winds. And I reckon we were stuck out in the middle of that for at least half an hour to 45 minutes. I have never been so cold on a lift in my life. And I just remember when they were bringing us all back in, they would like get you into the little ski hut with hot chocolates and try and, look after you in some way.
Yeah, you mentioned that the other time, but yeah, it gets cold up there. And that's why a lot of these have these kind of bubble chairs now. There's probably a better name for those. But I really like Sunshine. I think I still like Lake Louise. It's still a tight thing. If you can stay up at Sunshine, that's a great experience. But it was a lot of fun. I suppose there's not too much to talk about the ski front right now since we're not getting a ton of snow, but your footage was awesome.
Well, I mean, we've given it 2 weeks since the last one, haven't we? And Christmas is probably going to be pretty busy with us both, skiing hopefully, and then spending time with friends and family. So maybe if we come back another 2 weeks and we make sure we actually prep ourselves a couple of shorter clips. Someone mentioned about sort of like maybe putting them in reel form or something like that, and then we can kind of stick them up and have it all ready for the next one.
Yeah, I'll give you my Google Drive and we'll put some MP4s on there. That's how I have mine, and that'll be a lot of fun. And by then, I will have gone to Lost Trail, which is an amazing lesser-known resort, and Maverick, and stayed at these weird little hot springs out in the middle of nowhere in Montana. Yeah. So I have some stories. Eventually, I'll make a video, but I think we'll have a lot more to talk about in 2 weeks after the new year. But yeah, thanks for jumping on. I think this was nice, and yeah, next time we'll have some videos loaded and ready to talk about with volume, and we'll get there. We're gonna be pro in no time. Look out, Joe Rogan. Here we come.
Yeah. I'm not sure if people will tune into us for a whole 2 hours, but 10, 15 minutes is better than nothing.
We'll just get a pro skier on here. We'll get what is that girl that just won at 41 in St. Moritz?
Lindsay.
Yeah, we'll get Lindsey Vonn on here, right? Why wouldn't we?
Isn't she probably lives your side of the border rather than here, I reckon.
Yeah, right. She's American. I mean, why wouldn't she?
That is, by the way, that is awesome. Winning at the world that at the age of 41 is insane.
That is impressive. I thought it was a lie at first because she's always doing something to end up in the news.
Yeah,
and she just keeps on staying. And I kind of, I've always thought she's great, but I'm like, what the hell is Lindsey Vonn still in the news for? But she stays relevant. Yeah, she's got a motor.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get Lindsey Vonn on here next time, we'll have her on for 2 hours. Yeah, definitely. All right, thanks for the comments, Brady, and it looks like Homrist. I don't know your first name. Sorry if I'm murdering it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. We'll be doing this again in 2 weeks. Bye.